All right, let's go through another one of these young TV guides. Let's get in the DeLorean and go back to September 17th, 1983. What were you doing in 83? Were you watching TV? Nothing to see here. Oh, this Robert McKenzie dude. Completely irrelevant guy. Look at this guy. Look at him. Fire's going, smoke's going. He's ready to rock. Veronica Hamill, Margaret Thatcher. Best deal on a phone is right in your home. I mean, double page ad for that. Oh yeah, this something about Miss America. I can scarcely bear to watch, but I do. Turn it off then. There's plenty on back in '83. I can attest to that. Kmart. Are there any Kmarts? Is Kmart completely gone now? I think it is. I'll reserve comment. I think this is a cigarette ad here. May not tell. Just had a know to know. The Littles. There we go. What are they talking about here? Oh, what? The Littles march against the Smurfs. Saturday morning supremacy. That's funny. Looks like they got kind of a goofy art or gag article where they're interviewing the Little. Because they keep talking about Luther Little. I don't know. But yeah, we love the Littles. Way better than Smurfs. Smurfs was great too, but... FTD was a thing back in the 80s. Guess it was a way to like send flowers like way across the country or something. I don't remember. I was a kid. I wasn't sending flowers. Look at this guy. He's calling the game with a cigarette in his hand. There's George Papard from the A-Team. Trying to look masculine for some reason. That's a funny headline there. Looks like they got something. Last Days of Pompeii. That was a pretty big deal. I don't know if it came out in '83. I definitely remember hearing that though. We didn't watch Snooze Fest like that though. We watched like V and cool stuff. Don't know what she's doing. I think she's on Knots Landing, I guess. Soap operas in '83. Oh, there's our girl Emma Samms. Come on, folks. Please tell me you remember Emma Samms. Off the Set. Cynthia Sykes. Oh, St. Elsewhere. Yeah, I never watched that. It was a popular show, though. I was watching Emma Samms. I wasn't watching Cynthia Sykes. Arch to expand to 20 hours. How many cigarette ads are we up to already? Like 4 or 5. The Hills is a local department store, I think in Indiana. I guess we'll see in a moment. They're touting some cable, so it looks like an 83 Some people had cable. Kroger. We'll get into some cool ads in a moment. Bear with us. Yeah, this is the cable listings. Unless one jumps out at me, I'm probably going to skip past this. Not a lot, though. It's already, you know, here's the A's. We're already down to the S's on the next page. So I guess if you had cable, the pay channels in 83, wasn't a huge selection of movies. I guess they just show like the Road Warrior like 50 times that week or something. Pet tabs. I don't know what these are supposed to be, like vitamins for your pets. Yeah, strange idea there. Snake oil in a bottle. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is from Indiana, but look at this ad. How great is this? This is one of the fun things about these TV guides. You know, you could talk about the littles, but when it has, like, remember the biscuits? Man, I almost forgot about those. The biscuits. They're like little puppies. Super cute. Saturday Supercade. Come on. Donkey Kong. Pitfall. Frogger. Cubert. How they managed to make cartoons about all those, I do not know. Dungeons and Dragons was great. Benji, Zax, and the Alien Prince. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing in 83 where I didn't... Maybe my grandma didn't let us watch cartoons or something in the morning, because I never saw this Dukes of Hazzard cartoon, never saw this Benji. I guess they brought out a weekly Charlie Brown cartoon. I caught Dungeons and Dragons like a year or two later. Do remember biscuits though. Oh, this is the debut of Dungeons and Dragons. How great is that? All right, let's read the plot of the biscuits. I know you all are wanting to know that. Biscuits are pups, only a dog biscuit high. What? Only a dog biscuit high that have been... Oh, that's how tall they are. That have been entrusted to protect their late king's treasure from his no-good brother. That's a high concept there for some puppies, man. Looks like Mr. T's got his own cartoon in 83. Debut. Let's see what else. I mean, there's plenty here. I'm just kind of scanning. Yeah, that's Saturday Supercade. Come on, Chi-Chi's. Pac-Man. That's separate from Saturday Supercade. So is Rubik's Cube. I watched that Rubik's Cube cartoon. And it was kind of interesting. Battle of the Planets. I definitely never saw that in 83. I caught Voltron in like 84, 85. Alright. American Bandstand. Who's going to be on? Scott Baio? Jeez. That's about as cringe as it gets. Look at this great ad. Don't miss the boat. What? Premiering? Oh, this must be in syndication. Yeah, so when they say premiering, showing at 4 p.m. during the day so you can catch some Love Boat reruns. That's a fun ad, though. We all love Julie, the camp, the boat stewardess or whatever she was. All right, Saturday evening in 1983. Different Strokes, Silver Spoons, TV's bloopers and practical jokes, and then Miss America. We probably will see some ads for some of these. Love Boat Fall Preview, wow. And then a 2-hour Love Boat. That's pretty wild. Walt Disney coming on Saturday evening. And that's about it, folks. I mean, there was no Fox Channel. These UHF, VHF, they'd be showing some weird syndicated stuff, some reruns, and then a lot of us did not have cable. Judge Wapner. Oh, here we go. This is 83 right here, folks. If you didn't live it, you don't know. Dance Fever, Frank Stallone sings Far From Over. That was from that Staying Alive movie. It's a great song. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll go to bat for Frank Stallone at Far From Over. And I'll go to bat for that Staying Alive movie too. John Eric Hexum. Wow. Okay, and then on Solid Gold we got Frank Stallone, Men at Work, The Tubes, Bonnie Tyler, The Commodores, Alabama. How great is that? And that's not just nostalgia talking. We're talking about some all-time good music in the 80s. Look at this. Guess these would be all the stars that were going to be on that season. But man, that's a lot of stars. I'll scan these names. There's too many to read here. Priscilla Barnes, Scott Baio, Joan Collins, Betty Davis, wow, Linda Evans, Lou Ferrigno's on the Love Boat. That's pretty funny. There's a lot more. I just can't read them all. Lee Horsley. You should know all these names, folks. If I know them, you know them. Let's see, Emmanuel Lewis, Heather Locklear, Lee Majors. I mean, there's too many to list here. Although they did list them, so I guess it's not. Adrian Zemed, there you go. Okay, so this season of Love Boat sounds pretty strong to me. No Christy McNichol, though. That's a strike against it. There's that Miss America. They're previewing that. Oh, that's funny. Love Boat. Yeah, I guess it was just like a 2-hour premiere or something. That's a fun ad there. Deborah Sue Moffat. I guess she was the one that won the year before, I'm guessing. I think they said that earlier. Got some movie coming on called Senior Trip. It's got Scott Baio. Nobody else I recognize. I guess Scott Baio was everywhere in 83. R.I.P. Scott Baio's brain. Look at this. This would be like your Atari 2600 games. Get him at the Hills in Indiana. Wonder Woman coming on 11:30. Some reruns. Yeah, this one is like won't open properly, so I'm having a little trouble with this. Sunday morning, not a lot to look for. Got some show called Impact Indiana. Did y'all watch that when you were kids? Or you got Indiana Outdoors. See what else? Anything other Indiana stuff? Yeah, if for those that don't remember, we would have national stuff, and then we'd have regional shows like that. I guess we still do to some extent, but... Alright, Sunday night, 1983. I already see Knight Rider. Something called Forethought, the number 4. A movie called Bud and Lou. Hopefully they'll tell us what that is. Life's Most Embarrassing Moments 2. Hardcastle McCormick got a 2-hour premiere, I guess. One Day at a Time. Jefferson's Goodnight. Beantown. Trapper John. Lots going on Sunday night. It's pretty strong. If you had cable, you could watch Poltergeist, all-time classic. The young girl died really young, kind of tragically. The girl from Poltergeist. All right, we got our cigarettes, we got our buds. Remember these bottles? How great were they? Was anybody drinking buds in '83? That's a pretty bizarre ad for the A-Team. That is pretty crazy. And this Kenny Rogers thing is on HBO, so most of us could not watch that. There's the guys telling it like it isn't. What will we do without them? Here's another A-Team ad. That's pretty hilarious. I wonder if anybody got mad about that, because, you know, you got George Washington with a mohawk there. Mohawk haircut. Best of everything. Sounds pretty weird. They're going all out for these A-Team ads. It's kind of funny. I'm digging it now. The first one was weird, but now I'm on board now. Let's check out these posters. John Stamos, long before the Full House or whatever that show was. He's like a stud in the '83. Lisa Hartman. It looks like she's wearing a negligee. This guy's got a banana hammock on, and I think that's Suzanne Anton there. They just said Suzanne. So these are some pretty racy posters right here, I must say. Mr. T from the A-Team poster. Olivia physical, that would be Olivia Newton-John. This is pretty funny. I mean, just, you know, if there's a Flashdance poster, who knows what it would be. You know, would it be, what's her name, or would it just be the poster from the movie? Mail in your $3.50 to find out. All right, what we got? Hopefully we can see some of those. Yeah, here we go. We got some ads to tell us what's going on here. The best of everything. Celebration of winning moments with the greatest collection of greats ever assembled. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but we got Barbara Eden. That's great. We got Marcus Allen. We got Heather Locklear. They got everybody. Paul Newman, Meryl Streep, Lee Majors, Burgess Meredith. Debbie Allen would be huge at that time because of the Fame TV show. Heather Thomas. We got both Heathers. We got Melinda from Knight Rider, right? Yeah. Susan Seaforth Hayes. Don't know who she is. But we know Donna Mills with those piercing blue eyes. Look at this great Hardcastle McCormick ad. It's the 2-hour action premiere. No plea bargaining in heaven. That was a fun show, though. Everything was fun in the 80s, man. R.I.P. fun. Check this out. Joyce DeWitt, Star Search. All right, we're still on Sunday night here. This is a local news thing. This is kind of funny. Biggest sale of the century. I don't know what that's all about. Super Soul Sports Spectacular. Everybody loves a good wordplay, man. If you don't like wordplay, Hazel. I gotta talk about Hazel. I've never talked about it because I didn't know about it. I recently saw an episode of Hazel, first time ever. It's like a show from like the 50s or 60s. Very cute. I like that show. I've only seen one episode. The lady that plays Hazel's like a lot of personality. It's a cute show. So I'm pro Hazel. And it's well written that they've got a father and a son. You know, they're kind of stuffy. She's the housekeeper or whatever. She's got all the heart and soul. All right, this is kind of fun. These are just shows coming on during the day, but they got 8 is Enough, Taxi, all-time great comedy show, and then some People's Court. People's Court comes on, you'd go upstairs and watch cartoons. And, you know, if your mom wanted to watch People's Court, hopefully you had a little 13-inch, you'd go upstairs and watch The Littles or something. All right, we're already into Monday afternoon. I kind of skipped past Monday morning, so I have to pay attention to like Tuesday morning. But let's see what's coming on. Super Friends. There's another Love Boat ad. Exact same ad. Tattletales. Yeah, you'd go watch Tom and Jerry or Pink Panther, anything, you know? All right, Monday night. Charlie's Angels movie. I hope they got an ad for that. Otherwise, we'll have to look at 7:30. Jeez. Geezer Squad. Bob Hope and then George Burns. Good grief, folks. Got that Charlie's Angels movie. Got That's Incredible and Monday Night Football. Look, MASH is going whole was that 3-hour MASH? 2.5 hour MASH. That's a trip. Hope there's an ad for that. So let's look for this Charlie's Angels and this MASH just to see why it's 2.5 hours long. This might have all been like season premieres. All right, here's the guys. I mean, they got some guest stars on there that are good. So, you know, you could tolerate George Burns and Bob Hope, but you got Marie Osmond, you got John Denver. We got Olivia Newton-John. Come on, we're there. Sally Ride. Is she the one that... and Margaret. Bernadette... Oh, we're there. I mean, Bernadette Peters. I'm there, dude. I'm not watching MASH, and I'm not watching Charlie's Angels. I'm watching Bernadette Peters in '83. Yeah, there's that That's Incredible show. It's kind of a fun show. All right, let's look for that. Yeah, here it is. Oh, are they re-showing the final episode or something? It looks like they are. 120 million Americans laughed and cried, and 407 went home. So it looks like they're re-showing that season series finale from the year before. And that's pretty cool. Encore of the most watched television event ever. How about that, folks? 120 million people. That's when we had a culture that brought us together instead of one that does, you know, splits us apart. So great memories there. Even if you weren't a MASH fan, look at these ads. They're doing it again. This is fun. What else are we going to look for? That Charlie's Angels. There's the full rosters of the 1983 Raiders and Dolphins. So pause and mark a circle around your favorite player from '83. If Marino's there, he's one of the if he's not the GOAT, he's on a very short list. And nah, Tom Brady's not on that list, folks. Montana's on that list. Marino's on that list. I'd put Brett Favre above Tom Brady, and I'm not even a Favre fan. All right, let's keep going. We got Jim Plunkett and Marino going head to head. Look at these A-Team ads. Oh, they're re-showing the pilot of Charlie's Angels. That's kind of weird. So that long 2-hour Charlie's Angels is just the pilot from 1976. I guess they figured they couldn't compete with Bernadette Peters, so just put something on that's like 7 years old. And I don't blame them. All right, let's take a quick scan of morning TV in '83. We got Cowboy Bob's Corral. We got some show called Bozo. I thought I saw something about computers. ESPN's showing racquetball, for goodness sakes. How did they even get the cameras inside that little court? Paul Harvey. Popeye. Another Love Boat ad. That's fun. All right, Tuesday night in '83. The A-Team, so I guess we won't see any more of those fun ads. And Remington Steele is going to 2-hour premiere. That's great. 2 great shows. Something called Just Our Luck, and then they're showing Saturday Night Fever with commercials and stuff. Something called Pilot, and then a movie. So they're not trying to compete with A-Team and Remington Steele. They're phoning it in on Tuesday nights, reading Rainbow, featuring Blackstone the Magician. So this is what they're watching in Indiana. Probably elsewhere too. Tug of War, Academics versus Athletics. Look at this ad though, this is fun. So that might have been a new comedy, yeah. And then they put it up. That's a fun little way to promote the show there. Here we go. The Real Guy. Yeah, Remington Steele was a fun show. Never gets shown in like syndication. I don't know why that is, because it was a good show. I mean, if I can catch an old episode of Hazel, I should be able to watch Remington Steele somewhere. This, I've gone through a couple of these Indiana ones, and this Hills or whatever this department store is, they do a lot of ads in these Indiana ones. It's just kind of cool. Don't be a boob, watch Bob Coob. Cheapers. We're having fun, folks. We're not taking any of this too seriously. Thick of the Night with Alan Thicke. He's got Tony Danza. He's got Arsenio Hall on. Back in '83, that would have been before Arsenio even teamed up with Eddie Murphy. That's pretty wild. So maybe he was just doing a little bit of stand-up on Alan Thicke's show. That's fun. Probably Google that and find it. Alan Thicke, Arsenio Hall. All right, we're into Wednesday. It's an after-school special, yep. I've mentioned in some of my other videos, I remember after-school special, you know, there being 2 or 3 of them. Man, they made lots of these for years. So obviously after school, I guess I was watching cartoons, because I do not remember there being so many of these. And sometimes there's some famous actors that went on to become famous in some of these, so they're kind of cool. Although some All My Children guy. Let's see if there's anybody else in it at 3:30. Taxi, there's the Crew. Such a great show. You all know. Yeah, look at this Fisher Price ad. It's fun. You got drawings of the little toys. Let's see. Let's see who else is on. Cynthia Nixon. I think she became an actress later. I mean, she's obviously already an actress, but I think she became... Did she end up on, like, Sex and the City or something? But anyway, I recognize that name. Julie Cohen. Dana Lee. All right, let's see what's on Wednesday nights in '83. Real People. Facts of Life going to full hour. Probably season premiere. St. Elsewhere. Movie called Jack of Diamonds. Hopefully there's an ad for that. Otherwise, we'll try to see who's in it at 7. Fall Guy. Looks like a 2-hour premiere for Fall Guy. How great would it have been to be around this time? I mean, I was, but I wasn't that into TV. But look at all these great shows. Archie Bunker, Gloria, Hotel going 2-hour premiere. Cattle Annie and Little Britches. Where are my Cattle Annie and Little Britches fans at? Let's try to see what those 2 movies are. So one's at 7, one's at 8. Look at this ad. How fun is that? Uh-oh, Lindsay Wagner on the Fall Guy. So great. If you know, you know. So great. Huh, what are these girls doing? What are they doing here? All right, let's look for those movies. Jack of Diamonds. Yeah, here. Oh, that's the Hotel. I was hoping they'd have some ads for these movies. Maybe they're just old movies. Here's the Little Britches thing. Oh, I think I've seen that movie. All right, let's see what Jack of Diamonds is. Oh, it's some super old movie from 1967 with George Hamilton. He would have been pretty young in '67. Yeah, look at this great ad for Hotel. With our girl, Connie Selica. We loved her. You're lying if you said you didn't love Connie Selica. Yeah, I've seen this movie. It's like 2 female outlaws. It's got Burt Lancaster. I think he teaches them how to shoot or something. Diane Lane. She's like super young in this. Kind of a cute movie. Roughest, toughest, orneriest bunch till they met their match. Cattle Annie and Little Britches. I don't remember anything about it. I think I saw it like commercial interrupted like halfway through. Puts us into Thursday, September of '83. Thursday night, NBC, before Cosby and all those shows, we got Gimme a Break, Mama's Family, We Got It Made, Cheers, and Hill Street. Still a pretty great lineup. Trauma Center's going 2-hour premiere. Then we got Magnum, Simon & Simon, and Knots Landing. So Thursday looks like it's always been a pretty strong night. Yeah, look at this crazy ad. I like this show because the Hulk was on it. It's basically like an ambulance rescue type show. Didn't last, but I dug it mainly because the Hulk. This is fun. Oh yeah, I've seen this in other ones. I always forget what it was called. Terry Copley, I think's her name. Yeah. Or you can watch Jazz in America. Sneak previews, that's the Siskel and Ebert. They're reviewing Eddie and the Cruisers and Daniel. Don't know what Daniel is, but you know, Eddie and Cruisers, great movie. Sort of a mystery. Oh, look at this. That's awesome. $250 for the Return of the Jedi figures. And we know so many great figures from Return of the Jedi. The Emperor's Royal Guard, the Biker Scouts. I think they had an indoor Leia, not that one. IG-88 was already around. But how great is that? Wow, it's a good deal. If your parents were reading this, they might say, hey, we can buy 5 and get a free extra one. That's awesome. Oh, the Emperor by mail. Okay, that's pretty cool. But I don't think that was a Hills thing. I think that was Kenner had a little mail-in rebate to get the Emperor. Here they are telling us like it isn't. John Stossel. Still telling us like it isn't, like 40 years later. Letterman's got Andy Kaufman on. Wonder if it's that famous appearance where he had like a wrestler with him. Here's Barbara Mandrell. We love her too. You guys remember Barbara Mandrell. She also had the piercing blue eyes. All right, Friday night. Mr. Smith, I think that's an orangutan show for Love and Honor. I think that's like a military show. The Wreck of the Mary Deer. Benson, Webster, Lottery, and Matt Houston. That's pretty strong. I don't remember Lottery, but those other ones are great. Dukes of Hazzard, and then Blazing Saddles with commercials. Pretty good. Lots to choose from. 3 channels and lots more to choose from than we have now. I mean, any of those would have been good. Even the orangutan show. This show is a super weird idea, but trust me, it was interesting for some reason. Maybe as a kid. Crazy, bizarre idea. Benson's going high tech. They're going to lose their job to a robot. Still relevant today. We're still losing our jobs to robots. Webster, a great show. And what made these shows great? It wasn't just Webster. You know, it was the dad, it was the mom, it was, you know, the whole cast would contribute to the overall show. We Love Dukes. New episode, season premiere. Blade Runner ad, that's pretty cool. It's just a movie poster, but that's pretty cool. I'll tell you, I'll read you the synopsis for this orangutan show. Mr. Smith is the ape. A laboratory accident turns an orangutan into an articulate genius who finds work as a government consultant. In this opener, Mr. Smith finds that he lacks some basic human rights and demands his own home with his former trainer. Plus veto power over his meticulous government-assigned personal secretary. I'm telling you, somehow that show worked. I don't know how. Here's that from For Love and Honor. Got Yaphet Kotto, looks like. Guy getting hit in the face with the butt of a rifle. That would crack your skull and probably kill you, so please don't try that at home, folks. They always do that on TV. Like hitting people with guns and stuff. Here's that lottery show. Holding the win. Oh yeah, it's like 3 different people have to split the lottery, so they like move in together or some crazy idea like that. It's a fun drawing for Blazing Saddles here. Matt Houston, great show. Another one that's been lost. You never seem to see it in like syndication or anything. After MASH. Is there life after MASH? The answer was no. That show did not work out. Friday Night Videos was on in '83. I did not know that. I thought it came on like '84, '85. So we got Pink Floyd, Donna Summer, and Eddie Grant. Not the strongest, but I bet they show some other videos too. If you didn't have MTV, these shows were so important. I'm here to tell you. Alright, got some more smokes. Kenny. Next week, I think I actually went through that one already on my channel. Ah, VHS. Brand new technology back then. Sounds funny, but some more smokes. Getting ready for the Winter Olympics. There's some pretty cool little collectible things. All right, September of 1983. Thanks for watching. See you around.